It is Friday, and it is a Joe-free Friday. Joe had an obligation. He was supposed to tell you guys yesterday on the air, and we were busy with, like we always are, with multiple things. And he said, "I'll see you guys tomorrow." And I called him right after the show. I was like, "Well, you told me you weren't coming on tomorrow," and he didn't come on tomorrow. It's just going to be me now. We had JR scheduled to come on and do radio with us, so I decided to keep JR on with us today, so he'll be joining us for the Gold and Silver Show. He's been on once or twice. I'll have him reintroduce himself, and we'll dig into some topics that he wants to talk about. He likes economics, and he'll be a good addition for today's show. We are a gold and silver company. We sell, buy, trade gold, silver, and other precious metals. The Patriot Radio News Hour show has been on for going on 3 decades. Almost 3 decades of customers have been coming to this company to buy gold and silver. It's a very, very impressive thing to hear. When I signed up with Joe in 2018, the year or two before that, gold and silver had run really hard in 2011, and then it kind of came back, and it became survival of the fittest. A lot of gold and silver companies, they over-leverage themselves. They don't move their business and their money in the right way, and they just go away. Either that or they come in when it's hot, sell as much as they can, and they're gone until the next splurge. But Patriot Trading Group we do it smartly. It's not a small company, but it's definitely not a big, huge internet gold and silver seller. We specialize in pre-33 gold, but we sell pretty much anything you want, and it's a great way. It's a great way to you deal with us. We give you a good price on the front end. We give you a good price on the back end when you sell. Just can't beat that decades long trust that we have with our customers. Word of mouth is essentially how we have the radio shows, and we have word of mouth. In the years I've been doing this, I can't think of any advertising we've done at all outside the radio stations. The show's there in Arizona and here in Colorado. So if you want to buy gold and silver from us, and I have a special, I'm gonna blurt it out on the air on the first segment. Joe likes to hold that special till the third segment usually, but I want to sell silver half dollars. The number to call is 800-951-0592. That number to call again is 800-951-0592. On the website, we have half dollars listed at $365. I was computing silver at looks like $48.35. It's got a melt of approximately $350. So I'm going to sell silver half dollars just $5 over melt at $355. Outstanding price. Yeah, I don't know how much longer these lower premiums are going to last. They're creeping up as I'm speaking, and pretty soon you'll be getting half dollars for much, much more. Some of these half dollars that I have here in Colorado are uncirculated. I don't want to guarantee uncirculated, but the majority of the rolls are 1964 Kennedy's uncirculated rolls. So you're getting a whole bunch more if you can get these rolls. I think Joe has some half dollars there in Arizona. I don't think his are this way, but I'll try to. I'll get some shipped out to you Arizona guys if you order some. $355 rolls of silver half dollars. You call 800-951-0592. That's what we do. This is what powers this show and powers the radio station here in Colorado, and makes things work. I love it. I just love it. I like what I do. I actually left work, the radio station yesterday, and things are pretty good. Things are definitely pretty good. So let me introduce JR before we hit the end of the segment. JR, thanks for coming in. Reintroduce yourself. Let the audience know who you are, where you exist, and what you talk about. Jack, I got a little bit of an echo. I don't know if that's coming from him. I don't know if he has a headset, but go ahead, JR.
Good morning, Jason. How are you doing?
Let the audience know who you are, and we'll get into this show on the next segment.
Yeah, well, happy Friday. Thank you so much for having me back on. The first time I was a little bit nervous, so this time hopefully I'll be a little bit less nervous. So I'm J.R. Rochford, and I'm the third generation of a fully independent fourth-generation fiduciary, veteran-owned family practice of financial advisors. So I've been there 28 years this year. And
where are you located, JR?
We're in Sun City, Arizona, but we are nationwide. We have clients in the military and clients in different states. So got a little satellite office up in Snowflake, Arizona.
How close is that to our Patriot offices?
20 miles, right around 20 miles.
Okay.
We're a little bit northwest of you guys.
I don't remember. You did not come in to do the show last time, did you? You did it from home?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to ask those questions. I'm just curious, JR. So we got another Arizona guy, and you've spoken to Joe many times. I'm taking it over the years.
Yes, yeah. Oh. I'll give you a little history when we come back.
All right. Well, Patriot Radio News Hour. We're Joe free today, but we'll be back with JR after these short commercial breaks. Patriot Radio News Hour. We got JR here with us. He was talking a little bit about he's in Arizona and he's got his own situation. Go ahead and continue, JR, with how you ended up hooking up with Joe and coming on the air with us.
Well, so I've probably been 15 years now. I've been listening to you guys' show, and I reached out to Joe a while back. We give out your name quite a bit. I'm kind of, as a financial advisor, I would say I'm the anti-financial advisor, and we believe in moderation and diversification. You know, a lot of advisors, it's just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatnot. And our whole thing is we want to hedge bets. So I started listening to Joe about 15 plus years ago, and I started giving out his name. Year after year, you know, more and more I gave out his name. I never did a great job with following up to see if somebody was calling. And I decided a couple years ago that I was going to track it. Well, a few people had come to Joe, so I reached out and said I want to meet him. And I believe the first contact with him, I invited him to our happy hour. We do a monthly men's networking happy hour, and Joe showed up. So I got to know him a little bit, and then you guys started Texas. I started up with you at the end of May in Texas. I've been telling clients about that. So it just kind of one thing led to another, and now this is actually the second time I'm on your show. So thanks so much for having me, by the way. I will tell you, let me address the nervousness. I'm a financial guy. I look at statements. I talk to people about risk tolerance and that sort of thing. I am not a radio guy. If you've met me, you know I have the face for radio. I know that old joke.
I was never nervous. I mean, I guess maybe I was supposed to be nervous when I first came on the air. I wasn't very good, but I don't really worry about being very good. I guess the way it made it easy for me, JR, is it was just the co-host that was on the air with me, and sometimes the callers coming in, and I guess I don't focus that there could be thousands of people or hundreds of people or whoever's listening to me. I don't really think about that. I'm pretty much in the moment. So like today, I knew Joe wasn't coming on, so I was going to have to prepare for a show. But he's like, "Hey, I got JR." He's like, "Do you want to do a show with JR?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd rather have somebody to talk to on the air than nobody." You know, I can do the shows by myself, but it's a conversation's easy, JR. So I don't know. You be nervous all you want. To me, it's like we're going to have a conversation, and I don't have callers coming in unless I decide to ask them to come in. But it's pretty easy, man.
Oh, yeah, and I was lying. I wasn't nervous at all until you said there might be thousands of people listening. Now I'm freaking out. And you know what's funny? My stepson Anthony and I, we also do a radio show in Phoenix. We have podcasts, YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards. We've been on for 3.5 years, and at this point, I am never nervous. Coming on with you, I'm nervous. I mean, this is kind of I'm almost intimidated because you guys are so important in my life. And I've heard your shows.
I couldn't stress
when Joe's not around.
I can't stress how unimportant Joe and I really are.
It's hilarious.
I'm pretty grounded. Most people are grown in a family, and they're taught that you're not more important than anybody else. You know, you're not more important than anybody else. You know, to try to keep you humble, which it's a good message, but I think it drives people to be too humble. Because to me, that's a coin. You flip it over and say, well, that means nobody is more important than me. And so I find myself on very equal grounds with everybody. So when someone tries to hold me up, I push down. It's like, well, you're not more important than me, but I'm not more important than you. And it makes it very easy for me to exist in my little bubble of my world. Because if you blow up your ego too much, you're gonna trip over yourself. And if you if you're too humble and worried about what everyone else is thinking, you miss opportunities, is how I see it. And that's why Texacoin, I was able to identify a Texacoin because I feel like, I didn't do cryptos. I didn't know nothing about cryptos. I was selling gold and silver, and this was kind of the world that we were kind of looking at as competition. But through a series of decisions that Joe and others made, I had this office away from the radio station for a couple of years, and I had something I hadn't had for a few years, which is a lot of extra time. And you give me some time, I'll work my butt off to find other ways to make life a little better. And that's how Texacoin showed up, JR. Joe was offered Texa a couple times, but he didn't know what it was. He wasn't studying cryptos like I was over there in Fort Lupton. So when I brought it to Joe, he's like, "Oh yeah, that was offered to me." And I told Joe, "Hey, this is great. I want to do this." And obviously we're on the radio. There's no way I was going to go around Joe or do it without Joe. So I had to bring him in. And then he looked it up, and it's a home run hit. I'm sure you're doing, since you came in at the end of May. I don't know how big your positions are, how many people you've signed up. I'm guessing you're doing really good because you have people to sell this to sign up, I guess.
Well, and I'm real careful. I mean, with our radio show, we've got a broker-dealer that we have to go compliance approval. So I can't announce it as much as I'd like to. But on the side, yeah, absolutely. And what I really learned from you guys, I can, if I like cryptocurrency, if I don't like it, if I understand it, if I don't understand it, all of that's immaterial. It's coming. So you better learn how to work in that space. And that resonates with me. I also feel like I missed out on Bitcoin. We've got some grayscale, we've got some different holdings, but I never understood it. You guys are having me actually learn my way around it, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I got in when I think it was 79 cents, and now it's hovering around $5 right now?
Yeah,
so it
hit its October high of $5.30. That was kind of the range it hit. It's trailed back 80 cents. Last I saw today, it was $4.49. So it did this last month before the price got bumped. So it's a good time to buy Texacoin. If anyone wants to get a hold of me out there listening, if you want to buy a little bit of Texacoin, I might be able to part with a little bit of it, because I got we got people buying gold and silver with Texacoins. There's a little bit of a two-way street going. But if you want to get some Texacoin while the price is trailed back, just give me a call. Let me know. I'm not sure. I want to speak for Joe. I know Joe is interested in doing so, but. It's cool, JR, because if it can go both ways, that means buying and selling. That shows some health inside that crypto.
Yeah, and I mean the direction of it is very impressive. I mean the fact that it's going to be a community coin. I mean I don't know. I'm super excited. And you know what? As part of moderation and diversification, should somebody mortgage their house to buy anything? Of course not. But should somebody buy different asset class? Of course. I mean, part of why I'm here today is because as a financial advisor, everybody hears the same things. We take your date of birth, we take your income, your assets, your approximate tax bracket, and your risk tolerance, and bam, we can fix your retirement. We can have a perfect plan. My whole thing is the rules might be the same. Since I've been in this job almost 30 years, but the game is changing around us. I mean, if you have an advisor that's not bringing up the world around you as part of your planning, I promise you're missing the boat. And I was there when the tech bubble burst. I was there when a plane hit a building. I was there for 2008. I have never seen anything like what I'm seeing right now on so many fronts. So I'm basically, the reason I'm here, I want to sound some alarms. I mean, I want to do on your show what I do on my show. And when you guys green-lighted that, I'm excited.
Yeah, so well put. And we'll start talking about your observations about the markets. We'll get into that. I will say I love gold and silver. I love cash, actually, too. I know not to hold on to too much of it for too long. You want your money working for you. But, man, when the Federal Reserve hates their own creation, which is their own Federal Reserve notes, the physical ones that are out there, cash is a little bit – I'm not talking about in your bank account. Your bank account is so much more susceptible, has so many more issues. But there's nothing like making sure you have some – you have to agree, JR, no matter how much we hate fiat currency, the Federal Reserve notes, how much that we know that there could be a better money for the citizenry, cash can move things very quickly. There's nothing faster than cash. You can get things done really quickly. except for those who just don't want to touch it and think it's icky. And then gold and silver to me is the next best thing, especially being a guy that sells gold and silver. I can move in and out of gold and silver very quickly, and any of our customers know this. Any of them that have sold gold and silver to us, very easy process. You're into more other paper assets and things of that nature. I just don't like stock. I've never had a 401k plan, but if I had a good beat on a stock and someone's like, hey, this is what this stock's going to do, if it's an old stock that's getting ready to blast off, or if it's a new stock, a new company, I'll jump in and do something. And I don't, here's the other thing, Jared. I don't even like cryptocurrencies. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like I don't think it's set up the way that they want it to be set up in the future, the way they want cryptos. And I'm still afraid of what cryptos are going to turn into as a controlling lever against us. But an opportunity is an opportunity, whether it's a stock or whether it's crypto. I will jump in if there's a way that I can maneuver myself into a positive position. I mean, the morning show, I was listening to the morning show on the way in, JD and I are trying to get this show working the right way. And one of the guys is talking about, he's got three, I don't know if you have this, but he has three indicators on how he trades stock. He's doing it for the show just to compare. I forget the one politician he's using. And then he uses another metric, which is how the politicians as a whole are using. So he's got these portfolios where it's the first politician, don't know his name. The second one is the because they have to report when they're buying things. So the stocks he's buying in the second portfolio is Congress as a whole, and then there's the Nancy Pelosi fund, which he basically.
Nancy Pelosi, that's the only one you have to follow. I mean, she's a better investor than Warren Buffett, for Pete's sake. So. Yeah,
so I think the guy, the other politician specifically, you'll have to forgive me for not remembering, but that portfolio is up 4% over whatever time period he's been doing this. I think Congress as a whole is up 5 or 6 or 8%, something like that. But the Nancy Pelosi one that he's running is up 27%.
Well, she's smart. She's very smart. I'm sad that she stepped down. I mean, now what's she going to do with her portfolio?
That's what the guy said. He's like, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to maneuver that portfolio because she won't have to report it anymore. And I'm wondering if that's why she is stepping down.
Well, she goes through her husband anyway. She doesn't report what she should. So can I interject something? A couple things you said there. One, you said that you've never had a 401k. I want to point out I'm licensed in Colorado. So when you're ready to start some financial planning for retirement, I can help you. I know you've got crypto covered, gold and silver covered. And by the way, the number one most important precious metal to me, lead, but that's for a different show. So you talked about the fiat currency, having some money at home. I mean, watching the world, the thought of an EMP or a solar flare, cyber attack, power grid, anything. Yeah, have some cash. I mean, you have to be mindful of fire, flood, burglary. I get all that. You know, you're not going to make your whopping 0.5% interest. But it's there. It's a hard asset. Put it next to your gold and your silver and your physical Texit coin in your safe, and you're golden. So, and I look at it like this country. We're in such uncharted territory. I mean, we've never had $38 trillion in debt before. You know, the polarization, politics, healthcare, borders. I mean, the whole thing is uncertain. And I always tell people, I'm not an optimist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. And I look at it like things don't add up. I mean, I forget if it was on your show or where I heard it, but somebody gave out the analogy of the frog in a pot of boiling water, and that's how I feel. I mean, we're so complacent. We're so dumbed down right now. So we are definitely ripe for change, and I'm kind of fearful the change is not going to be good.
All I've seen is Americans around me with a lower standard of living. I'm seeing guys that were doing really good, just doing okay. I see people that are doing okay that are just skating by. I see people that are skating by that are doing poorly. And I see people poorly that are hard up. They're just, some of these people, they end up homeless. And so I don't see, except for individual cases, yes, there are people that are doing better, JR, but as a whole, generally, I see lower standard of living for many Americans right now. We got JR for the balance of the hour. We'll be right back with the Patriot Radio News Hour. Stay with us. Welcome back, the Patriot Radio News Hour. The number to call is 800-951-0592. That number again is 800-951-0592. 0592. We have silver half dollars for $355 a roll. Super cheap. The ones I have here in Colorado, the majority of them are looking very, very nice. Many of them will be uncirculated, 1964 Kennedy half dollars, so not any rub off on these. I know a lot of people like the Walkers. Some people like the Franklin half dollars because the older coin is cool. But as far as the weight in silver, when you do a roll of half dollars or quarters, it's 7.15 ounces. It's an average weight. It actually accounts for some of the silver. Silver is different than gold. Silver will actually rub off. If you sat there for a long time rubbing a silver coin, eventually it would just turn into dust and go into the air. You can actually make silver dissipate into the air. Gold can't do that. Gold has been used as money for many reasons. The one is because it's uncorruptible. It doesn't corrode. It doesn't rust or damage or turn into, it doesn't rub off. You may smush the pattern down and make it look not as nice, but the amount of gold stays consistent compared to silver. So if you can get some that are in the uncirculated condition, and you can get it for $5 over melt, that might be something you want to put a few dollars into. I got those here in Colorado, Arizona. If you guys order some of these, I'll have to have them shipped over to Arizona, and we'll get them there promptly. You call the number 800-951-0592, and we will get you set up on that special. JR, thank you for coming on today. Continue on. You wanted to talk about some of the dangers ahead, some of the things that we're scratching our heads about.
Yeah. So, and let me start with something. How come you see it? How come Joe sees it? How come Anthony sees it? Why do I see it? And most people don't. I mean, one of the things I bring up a lot, I think there's a psychological term that covers what we're seeing around us. If you look up, just do a quick Wikipedia search, look up normalcy bias. I'm going to read you the quick version. Normalcy bias is a cognitive bias which leads people to disbelieve or minimize threat warnings. Consequently, individuals underestimate the likelihood of a disaster, when it might affect them, and its potential adverse effects. The normalcy bias causes many people to not adequately prepare for natural disasters, market crashes, and other calamities. I don't know if that resonates with you, but I think the world's going the wrong way so fast and so hard, people can't face it. It's a lot more comfortable to not deal with it. So I'm watching the stock market, I'm watching the financial markets. I can tell you there's three things I'm scared of as an advisor. And this is bad for a financial advisor. I'm scared of stocks, bonds, and banks. And I mean, if you'll entertain me, what I really want to talk to people about with being on with you is banks.
Yeah, but keep on going, man. Keep on rolling.
All right, so let me give you three basic things, and obviously, I'd love your input on this stuff. The first thing I want to talk about, we run this country, we run our financial system on a reserve requirement, a fractional reserve system. What that means is the government says to the banks, when you take in depositors' money, you need to keep some reserves. So fast forward to 2010. I know you and I talked about this last time I was on your show. It was on Friday the 13th, and then on Monday the 16th it started. Because of COVID, the government said you don't have to keep any reserves. Your fractional reserve requirement is zero. So what did the banks do? They went nuts. They're always going nuts. Mortgage-backed securities, commercial real estate, derivatives, you name it. So fast forward to today, COVID's been gone 5.5 years. Guess what the reserve requirement is today? Zero. So basically the banks have no money. The banks are broke. Try to go into a bank and get cash. Unless you have a really good relationship with a teller or a manager, it's getting tougher and tougher. So as far as the banks not having money, everybody's like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me because I have under $250,000 in my account. FDIC insurance covers me. And what I try to do is I point out to them they don't have any money. The depositor insurance fund that makes you feel warm and fuzzy has 1.3% coverage. Let that sink in. If you have $100 in the bank, you're going to get $1.30 if they get to you. And it's funny because the people that I talk to in the banks, I talk to tellers, I talk to VPs, they don't know it. I mean, these people that work there, either they don't know it or they're completely forbidden to discuss it. So I had an experience recently. I was in a local bank, I won't name the name, and I sat down with somebody, and I'm talking about this. I said that I do a radio show, you should hear it. We talk about the banks all the time. You're not going to like it, but you should hear it. And I said that, doesn't it make you nervous that they have no money? And this woman thought I was crazy. At first she's like, yeah, that's baloney. I said, let's go into your office. Let's go to this desk and let me pull up the computer. So I pull up the computer. I go to FDIC.gov, and she's just, thinking there's no way I'm going to convince her. Get to FDIC.gov. Took 3 steps. I did a little in the search bar. I went to statistics at a glance. Then I went to June 25 statistics. Then I went to FDIC historical trends. Bam, pull up this chart. In the lower left-hand corner, it shows DIF, which is Depositor Insurance Fund. The reserve ratio at the end of our, halfway through the year, 1.36%. And she kind of, she had to get mad at me because she didn't know what else to do. And she was like, it just doesn't matter. We, since 1929, we've never had a problem. And I'm sitting there thinking, you can put your head in the sand all you want. But I can tell you, we're in such uncharted territory. When people ask me the likelihood that I think there's going to be a bail-in or a bank holiday, I used to say probably 20%. Until a couple years ago, as I'm watching things get worse and worse, the debt go up and up, I would say at this point, I think it's a solid coin toss. I think if next Friday, after 5 o'clock Arizona time, of course, if they announce the banks are going to close, just like they did in Cyprus, Greece, you name it, they're going to say, don't panic, your money's safe. Can I have it? No, you can't have it. And I think that's a 50-50 shot every single Friday of my life right now.
Well, and the more digital it is, the easier they are to close it. They don't even have to close the physical branches. They can just shut the computers down. And the lady at the desk you were talking to, she'll just click her keyboard and won't do anything. And here's the thing about, and with my other shows especially, but even on this show, when I tell JR, I tell people things that is very, very hard to believe. And a lot of the stuff that I believe to be true is very counter to the conventional wisdom. But when I hear someone, they see the truth right in front of them, and then they just run back to their story. She couldn't be more wrong that nothing bad has happened. We were declared bankrupt in 1933, 4 years after her little year. We were declared bankrupt again in 1971. And we've lost 50% of our purchasing power every decade since 1913. We'll talk a little more with JR on the other side. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. This is the Patriot Radio News Hour. I talked with JR, and I'm going to let him continue on, but I wanted to first, real quick, JR, do you have an email? I'm actually going to send some to your email, but also if anyone wants to contact you, what's a good email? So I'm at JR at Rochford, which is ROTCHFORD, financial.com. So JR at RochfordFinancial.com. If you want an easier one. FINANCIAL.com. .com. Yes, sir. We do. I brought this Donald Fletcher piece on the air. This guy he used to travel around and tell people how to avoid taxes and how crooked the IRS is and federal income tax. And he does this long presentation. Oh. And this presentation is really good. He shows you how criminal the whole thing is, and he shows you every 10 years you're losing 50%, and he shows it. It's very direct, and so when that lady says, "Well, nothing bad has happened since 1929," she can't be more wrong. If the system needs to have a big crash, they'll have a big crash. You slightly mentioned COVID earlier about how we're 5 years away, but the COVID crash in 6 weeks took 33% of the market. Now, people don't remember that because they were too worried about putting a mask on and hiding. Right. But they bounced that market right back up. But that doesn't matter. You clear out all the suckers so that you keep you in your more privileged club well-financed. these things happen not on accident or because of bad decisions. They happen on purpose. And so that's why I'm sending you the Donald Fletcher piece. What was the other way to contact you? Go ahead, JR.
We've got a much easier one. It's team@anothermoneyshow.com.
Team@anothermoneyshow.com. So you said you're licensed to Colorado, so that'll give people a chance to contact you. Plus, I just sent you that Donald Fletcher piece. It's on BitChute. I think it's been it's hard to get that on YouTube. YouTube is still censors too much content. But anyways, Jared, we can continue on. I couldn't agree with you more about what you said earlier. It's we're of a like mind, obviously, and we're trying to help people out financially. And people have, I say many times on the air, if you're not worried about your money, somebody else will be, right?
Right. Well, and next to your health, isn't your money the second most important thing, at least on this planet, that you have to deal with?
Yes.
I mean,
yes. In a lot of ways, if you have to have assets to take care of things, the finances actually comes before the health. A lot of people, they sacrifice their health for finances. Well, there's a reason for that. Your personal health might not be as important as taking care of your family, your wife, your kids, your grandkids. And so sometimes you'll sacrifice the health to make sure you take care of those around you.
That is a really good point. We tend to put other people before ourselves, and that's a good thing, but that, in the long run, it's not so smart. But yeah, no, you're right.
Take care of all of it, take care of all of it. Put yourself in a good position in all ways, right?
Yes, moderation and diversification with your lifestyle, too. So something that I'm accused of, mostly by my family, but by others, too, I'm called the boy that cried wolf. So, and on our radio show, we had a local guy in Phoenix named Seth Liebson. And Seth came on our show, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago. And he said that something people need to remember about me, even though I'm the boy that cried wolf, at the end of that story, there really is a wolf. And basically, I mean, that's, I feel like I've been early, but I've never been wrong. And I am a self-professed, I'll call it a prepper. I'm a baby prepper. So I've been worried about the world for about 20 years. And I started just dollar cost averaging precious metals. I started, trying to get under the radar. And now I feel like I'm pretty set. So I don't just sit at home and worry about things, but I can tell you what, I mean, I definitely want to be prepared, not scared. I want to be proactive, not reactive. And that's why we took on the radio show. I mean, it is not an hour-long infomercial. It is 100% sounding alarms.
Well, really quick, I mean, Michael Burry, I'm sure you've watched The Big Short. It's really entertaining if you like anything financial. And Michael Burry was way early on his mortgage-backed security bubble, right? But he was right, and his company did really well betting against the housing market. And we're currently here, and Joe announced it, I think, last week, but there's Michael Burry saying that we have an AI bubble, and he's making bearish bets against NVIDIA and Palantir, and it makes you wonder how big and overpriced those markets are, JR.
Yes. Well, and I heard it on your show yesterday. And believe it or not, I set my appointments around your show whenever possible. So you guys talked yesterday about how the fact that the CEO of NVIDIA came out and said China's going to win. They have cheaper costs. They have less regulation. The CEO of the miracle that is NVIDIA, thanks Nancy Pelosi for keeping that stock up so high, that he comes out and says, sorry, U.S., you're screwed. Well, and what happened yesterday? The market didn't do so well. I noticed it's not doing so well again today. So maybe this is the start of the end of the 16-year bull run. Maybe we're going to get a correction finally.
Well, that almost scares me, JR, because we are in such an information-heavy society now with the technology. Everyone's got a media device in their hand that's trying to program their brain. And you got Michael Burry, it's on the news. Then you're talking about the CEO of NVIDIA saying, yeah, China's going to win. If you go way back to when Napoleon lost the big at Waterloo, it was the Rothschilds' horses and information that got back to England. And the Rothschilds bought England based off of walking around England saying, oh, my gosh, Napoleon won, he's coming for us. And then he ended up essentially buying the monarchy. So it makes me wonder if NVIDIA and an AI, and then, makes me wonder if they're sending a wrong message. It always gets my antennas up, JR, when there's too much information ahead of what's supposed to be happening, which is market stress. 800-951-0592. You're going to buy silver half dollars today. The number you call to buy the silver half dollars is 800-951-0592. These look great. They're super cheap, barely over melt. A lot of them are 1964 Kennedy half dollars. There's not a lot of these, 30 or 40 rolls. So I should have been a little more on target to get the ladies in Arizona some information. But first come, first serve on those. 800-951-0592. $355 for rolls of half dollars. JR, go ahead. We got just a couple short minutes as we're wrapping this thing up. You can finish on with whatever you want to talk about.
Sounds good. Well, let me leave people with a little bit of homework. I mean, a couple of things. If you are worried at all, or if you want to at least see that I'm telling the truth, dig into a few things. I mean, do look up that FDIC, look up the coverage, reach out to me and I'll help you find it. Look up the term bail-in. And another thing, I keep hearing there's about 4,000 banks in the country. That's a ton of banks. If we consolidate some banks, so what? You know what? It's only about 80 banks per state. So it's really not a lot of banks per state. I tell people look up the 2010 Dodd-Frank regulation. I know you guys have talked about that numerous times. It basically, we set the stage for a bail-in. And it just, would it surprise me? No. Right now our political powers to be are lowering bank regulations. So we're at a 0% reserve requirement. They're lowering regulations. Mergers are rising fast. Everything's just changing so fast. The banks have bad loans. Look up First Brands, Tricolor. The commercial real estate is struggling. The subprime auto loans. Everything is going the wrong way. So, and we want people prepared, not scared. We want them doing what you guys suggest, have an ounce of gold for every year you've been alive. If people listened to you guys years ago, think how set they'd be right now. They'd not only be defensive, they'd be wealthy. So jump on Texit. Reach out to Joe and Jason. You got to wake up now. Time's going fast, and I think people better slip out of their normalcy bias now.
All right. Well, JR, thanks for coming on with me. We do have a couple more minutes. You said you've been listening for 15 years. Did you get into gold and silver before listening to the show, or did the Patriot Radio News Hour sort of get you to understand it?
No, I had started before that. My dad actually got me started. So I've been doing it for a long time. And to me, if you're scared about the banks, stocks, bonds, what do? You pay down debt, you buy hard assets. I bought land. I've got a place up in Snowflake, Arizona. So, no, I've been going for a long time. When I found you guys, I was just, at first, Joe's, it's an acquired taste. I thought, man, this guy, he makes me look tame. And the more I listen to him, I'm like, oh my gosh. This guy is spot on about everything. And I love you too. When Joe's not there and I hear your shows and I hear about the history of money and of our financial landscape, it's astonishing how people don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, no, I found gold and silver because of wanting to increase the future fortunes of my family. I had a son, and I had bought a house in 2004. That all happened the same year. Jack was born in April. I bought a house. They were selling houses to people that shouldn't get them. I was one of those guys. And I just kept digging for information, JR. I think anybody that wants to really take care of their family, you've got to keep your brain and ears open, right?
Amen.
All right, JR. Thanks for coming on. Hey, everybody, if you want to...
Jason.
Yeah, thank you, JR.